Okay, now we're going to start talking about the remote mix manifold. Because of the way this system's configured with the 4 pumps, and we have 2 base and 2 catalyst pumps, and we said in the beginning of the video that with this type of a system setup, we could have a solvent-borne material in one base and one catalyst and a waterborne in the other, or even epoxy or urethane. If we had that type of a setup, we would actually need to have 2 of these. So this is one system. There would be a second one set up just like it. So let's talk about the components. First of all, there's the solenoid box, okay, and the main board. So we are going to have to come in from the control panel, and we're going to have to run a CAN cable from the intrinsically safe side of this board to the input. From this, we can daisy chain over to the other board for the second set. We're also going to have to set up the address by the switch settings, so each board has its own switch setting or its own address. All right, as long as we were talking about the groundings, we should talk about the groundings on these components as well. There's 2 points, one on the remote mix manifold and one on the bottom of the solenoid box. Over here, we have the remote color change blocks. These are going to work in unison with the solenoids over on the pumps. In other words, on the outlet solenoid color change, on the outlet color change blocks from the pump, you're going to run the fluid from valve 1 to valve 1. Okay? And then when it's selected, that base material is going to flow from the outlet into the mix module, through a mix element, out to the gun. In addition, you're going to also have to run air lines from the solenoid outputs to the corresponding color change block. Okay, on the remote color change stack, we talked about connecting the fluid lines from the outlet color change stack to the inlets of the remote manifolds. There's also a solvent input. When we do a purge of the gun, we want the PD2K system to know that that purge or that cleaning of the gun is taking place. So when the solvent comes through here, we're also running that solvent through a flow switch. So I want to talk a little bit about where the flow switches are located, because there's 2 of them on the system, because we want to run solvent to both the base color change stack and the catalyst color change stack. So the solvent switches are located down below. On the left-hand side is going to be the solvent switch for the base. We have the fluid in, the fluid out, and from the out, the solvent is going to go to the inlet of the remote manifold solvent valve. And then we'll do the same for the catalyst. Okay, so we're going to bring in Chris Van Koolen to talk a little bit about the communications on the PD2K. So, Chris?
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Chris.
So what we have is a PD2K automatic that comes from the factory with this Modbus TCP module already set up for you. In the event you don't want the Modbus module, you can install an Ethernet IP, DeviceNet, or Profibus module. What I have here is a Ethernet IP module that we'll be replacing our Modbus module with. If you don't want to replace the module and you'd like to have 2, you can also mount this one right above the other module. And with cabling on the CAN side, connect the 2 together.
Okay, so I just want to kind of recap that. So you can either replace this one and use this module, or you can use both of them?
You can use both of them.
Okay, very good. Okay, thanks, Chris.
All right, you're welcome.
For additional support information on setting up PD2K, you can visit our Graco website at www.graco.com or the Graco University at training.graco.com. You can also contact your regional support teams. Thanks for your time today.